Hey, it's Brian Mudd. This is my cheat sheet for hurricane season. And it's June 1st. All right, so GDP, jobs, and profits. Not great news here on any of them, but let me explain some of what's going on here and try to put it in context of what we can expect going forward. First off, yesterday we had a GDP downward revision to 1.9% from 2.2%. Now, while 0.3% doesn't sound like much, well, it's on a percentage basis. When you're at 2.2%, 0.3% is more than a 10% decline to begin with. So that's not good. But here's the more important factor. When you're taking a look at overall economic growth, there are a few different benchmarks to look at. The first one is 3%. An economy growing at 3% or greater is typically going to be the baseline for a healthy recovery. The one that we like with, a nice bounce back and jobs being created and things seeming more like normal. Anything below 3% and you're starting to be on shaky ground. The next benchmark is 2%. And the reason that's a benchmark is typically at 2%, between 2 and 3, you're not at risk for a recession. You can take a little bit of a blip to the overall economy, and it's not going to send you into negative territory. So it still gives you some flexibility while you're not going to be in an economy that's been growing jobs, at a pace that's going to be meaningful. You can work with that. Then you've got the under 2%, and now we're in that range. Here's what's scary about it. At under 2%, minor blips in the economy, you take a look and you take a 1% step backwards in overall economic activity, the inverse effect of that can end up being a recession overall. That's the territory we're back in. We're back at risk for a double-dip recession. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to get there, but here's the other part of it that becomes a little more problematic. Let me hit on jobs first. Job growth has continued to be weak. Remember, it came in, it was real disappointing last month. It was around what I was expecting, but Wall Street's getting ready to get it wrong again today. By the time you watch this, the numbers will probably already be out there, so this might be dated, this next part I'm talking about right here, but I'll update my cheat sheet. Wall Street's expecting job growth of 155,000. It's looking more like it's going to come in somewhere south of 120,000 jobs being created, which means regardless of what the unemployment rate is that they give us, that overall percentage, you're going to continue to see the real rate of unemployment hang at 9.5% or higher, and underemployment is actually closing in on 20% right now. So when you're taking a look at people that can participate, that can help knock that GDP growth back over that 2% level, not so good. And then you throw in the third component to this, profits. For the first time in 3 years, when we take a look at after-tax earnings by companies in this country, it's the first time in 3 years that it's actually negative. We had negative profit growth last quarter. So if the economy is on shaky ground, we aren't growing the economy enough for companies to expand their business enough to hire in a meaningful way anyway. And then profits are down. It doesn't sound like a recipe for a great summer, does it? All right, so rather than trying to freak you out here, make this an instructive situation to the extent you can. I've been pretty big on real estate. That continues to be pretty safe territory. We have to worry about what's going on in Europe. That's our unfortunate reality. We could do everything right for the rest of the year economically, and we still could be at risk because of what's going on in Europe. So this is the time to make sure that you have your own finances shored up, and you can plan on things like college, which, real quick, not to try to scare you here, but we have estimates for what college tuition will cost in 18 years. Let's say you have a new kid and you're wondering what college will cost them. Get this, in 18 years, here are the average costs of tuition. In-state schools per year, $41,000 per year. If you're looking out of state, $71,000 per year. And the average in 18 years, private tuition, over $92,000 per year. So we've got a lot to think about and a lot to plan for. It's not getting cheaper. Hey, real quick, Apple. This is a cool deal if you've been looking to get an iPhone and you didn't want a 2-year contract and you want a more affordable monthly plan. Leap Wireless, through its Quick Cricket service, is the first to have offered a prepaid iPhone. You can now go and get an iPhone 4 or an iPhone 4S. You can get the iPhone 4 for $400, the iPhone 4S for $500, and you can pay prepaid monthly for unlimited service at just $55 a month. Now, that's about half of what you'll pay with AT&T or Verizon for an unlimited plan that doesn't really exist, because the only true unlimited plan you can get is even on Sprint. Now, the big difference here is you have to pay a higher price for the phone up front rather than the $199 you're paying either $400 or $500 but no contract and lower monthly rates. So overall, that's a pretty good deal, especially if you don't have great credit. It's a cheat sheet for today. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday.